Hi guys, welcome back. I have been on quite a hiatus. Took a much needed vacation, went to the Outer Banks. It was a beautiful time with my friends and family. But I am now back in the basement studio. And today I'm going to be talking about a project that has been 1 year in the making. It has taken me quite a long time to finish this one. This one had me on the throes of self-doubt. I changed it a couple of times. I went back to it. I put it aside. I didn't even touch it for quite a while. Actually, it's one of the first pieces that I started videoing way back almost 2 years ago now. I guess about 1.5 years ago. So I finished it. It's a beautiful antique dining room table from the 1930s is my guess. It is a veneer top, but solid wood, probably oak. It's pretty heavy, the base. Has really cool claw feet and lots of ornate details that I really had a lot of fun working with. So I will walk you through the process. It won't take a year to tell you the story, but I will just begin at the beginning. I found it, as I usually do, walking with my dog in the neighborhood. In my neighborhood, maybe it's not the average neighborhood, but I really find some really good junk here. Things that people just don't know what to do with, have given up even trying on, and just tossed to the curb. So typically, I find most of my pieces while walking my dog within a 2-mile radius. So that's pretty cool. And this is no exception. I found this piece actually on my block, towards the end of the block. One of the bungalows here on my street was, I guess, purging and threw out this table and 4 chairs. The whole set was pretty intact. No real major damage. Some of the veneer had definitely pulled up in certain areas through time and I guess dampness in the basement, whatever. But that was a quick and easy fix. Just used a little bit of glue. It is the super tacky glue, and I used a little syringe, a little carpenter's syringe, and squirted that underneath and clamped it all together, and voila, that was fixed. And so it was a process of removing layers and layers and layers of old nasty fabric down to the foam, which was really old batting, like with hairs and stuff in it. So I'm thinking, this is an old piece from like at least the 30s. The only reason I say that is because I looked it up online, and a lot of similar styles I found online around that time period. So that is still my guess. But anyhow, we came to the determination that the foam, not salvageable, and who wants to smell old nasty basement, like the mildew. So we got rid of that. We got rid of that old foam, put new foam in every single chair. It's 2-inch. It's 2-inch, that really thick, cushy blue foam that you get at the fabric store. That has been used to reupholster all 6 chairs. All 6 chairs have brand new tweed style, beautiful decorator fabric. And the process that I used started way back when. So that was interesting because I started a process on it, and I had to remember what the process was almost a whole year later to finish this piece. But it all came out. It all came out beautiful. It all looks, everything looks like it's cohesive, but yet still has that quality that you can tell that it was done with intention. And I don't even know what the word is. I just know that it took a long time, and I had a lot of self-doubt doing it, but I'm getting a lot of reviews on Facebook, and they're all positive, and it's for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and it looks like it got like over 800 views and a couple of shares and a couple of likes and lots of comments and lots of activity on it, and even a couple of people have expressed interest in purchasing it, pending sizing and stuff like that. So I've only had it on the market for about 2 days. And so not discouraged at all. I feel like it will definitely sell in due time, which is good because it's a rather large piece for this basement, and it has been like kind of clogging up my creative work a little bit because I've been just laboring over the process of this piece. And, you know, the self-doubt will creep in because it has a finish on it that I haven't really seen anybody else do, like on YouTube. And I just kind of followed my heart and soul. And that's when you get into those uncharted territories where you feel like, you know, oh, you know, how do you know that this is like the right way to do things? Who are you to think that? I think it's called imposter syndrome. So that's what held me up for about a year. But I kind of broke through all those barriers and just went ahead and did it, even though my naysayer husband all along the way was like, are you sure that's what you want to do? I don't know. You might want to just take it outside and just, you know, take the paint sprayer to it and just give it all one color, because, you know, he finding creative pieces that don't necessarily fit with his style, he has a hard time appreciating. So I just pushed on through that, and he knows, and I know that, you know, we have the relationship where it takes a lot to really get me to stop doing what I want to do. So it hasn't happened yet. So that's probably why we're a good pair, because his naysayer attitude only makes me want to do it even more. So that being said, a lot of twists and turns in this project. Like I had it outside a couple times and a storm came and it was like, I gotta get it in. And it was hot and humid and I used a gel stain. I never used gel stain before. Used the gel stain and that was a disaster. So you'll see bits and pieces of that. So now that we're at the Java gel stain section of this tutorial video vlog, I'm going to take a pause here and take you back in time, actually back in time or back in time, whatever way that is, and to the day that I videoed the response of, I videoed the next morning after I did it, I videoed how it went, and it was a mess. A mess. So I will let my previous self tell you all about it. Good morning, reinventors. So it is Wednesday morning and I'm in the basement studio. It is hot out. That is why I have the windblown look going on. I've got a really cool antique fan that I bought from the flea market, which I'll show you guys in a minute because it's super cool. That was a whole project, but I didn't videotape it. It is I think it's a Westinghouse, an old Westinghouse desktop solid metal fan, like airplane style. Anyway, I had to take the whole thing apart, lubricate the wheels and all of the different components in there, and anyway, I got it working again, so I have this wonderful effect going on. Today's video is going to be about the gel stain complete, it wasn't a fail, first attempt in learning, we shall call it. It was an absolute disaster, my first attempt at using the Varathane gel stain. It really, I don't know what happened. I mean, looking back, I had to probably thin it a little bit, but long story short, it is very blotchy and it is a mess. On this dining set that I've had in my basement now for about a year, it is the last step, and it is just setting me back because I put 2 coats of the Java gel stain on and it was a sticky mess. And I know, number one, I was making a hasty decision because I wanted to get it done, and I put the stain on outside and it was hot, 92 degrees, feels like 104 day. It is currently still like that, so I am not going to take it back out there. I'm gonna try my best to fix it. I'm gonna just use some mineral spirits and really try to distress it a little bit, and not actually distress it, but thin it out, even though it's been drying for about 2 days because I had to work and I couldn't get back down here. So we shall see if this actually works. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. So here is the tabletop. You can see it's blotchy, and then I had a panic moment because of the blotchiness, and I thought, oh, let me give it some texture, and I did this crazy cross-hatching thing with the sponge, thinking that I could give it a cool bamboo sort of Japanese effect, but in hindsight, it was the worst idea ever, because now I have these like extra areas where it's thicker in some spots, and my husband actually came home and looked at it and said, is that intentional? Was that by design? I could have like jumped across the table and strangled him to death, because I have been working on this for so long, and he just has a way of just coming right out with it. But he's right, it looks a mess. I don't know, guys. I can't take it. So I mean, I'm okay with distressing and textured finishes, but it's like, what is it? Is it a textured finish, or is it just a bad gel stain job, or was it a rushed gel stain job, or what did you like stain this in 90 to 100 degree temperature with humidity at over like 100%? All of the above. Yes, ding, ding, ding. I did all of those things, and it looks like it. So we are going to attempt to fix this today. I'm going to start on the leaf, because I spared no fun, and I did the same thing on the leaf. So my mission today is to thin this out with some mineral spirits. I don't know if it's going to work. It's going to be an experiment, but I'm taking you along with me, so that if this was a major mistake on epic levels, then you can save yourselves from doing the same very thing. So that's what my video is. Let's go. So long story short, because I did not apply the Java gel stain I did not apply it the way that it was recommended that you apply it. What I should have done was thin it out with a little bit of mineral spirits, and then wiped it all on the top of the table. As I did it, what I was doing was I was dipping my rag into the Java gel stain, and then just kind of spreading it on that way, and then coming back with another rag and taking it off. In over 100 degree weather with high humidity, recipe for disaster, and it looked like it, as you saw previously. Yeah. So my mom came over the next morning, and I was like, oh my God, I've spent so much time on this already, and it looks like SHIT, and I can't stand it, and I'm gonna need to get more gel stain. Problem is, gel stain, well, the Varathane Java gel, I can't get it around here anywhere. The big box stores don't carry it on shelf. My local hardware store doesn't have it. They have a similar product, but they didn't have it. The fancy paint shop, the Benjamin Moore guys at the corner paint shop around the corner, didn't have Varathane Java gel. So I ended up having to get a close runner-up, which was this Bartley Espresso, to go over everything after I thinned it out with more mineral spirits. The top was a process in itself. It was like a whole project. You know, I had to go back in after those cross-hatching things turned out to not be awesome. They were totally not awesome. I went through and I used my sanding block. I sanded some of it back. I used the mineral spirits and a rag, and I tried to wipe it back as best I could, just to kind of loosen up some of that top varnish and make it a little bit more spreadable, I guess, or not as blotchy. That didn't work. So then I went in with this stuff from the corner paint shop, which was a very, very similar color, but not exact. And so I thought, okay, well, that's going to be okay. So this time I used the mineral spirits to add what they call a slip surface to the gel stain, and it smoothed right on. I did not do it outside. I did it in my basement. I put the dehumidifier on and went to town, and it actually worked. It came out pretty nice, except for it's an old table, so there was going to be a lot of blemishes no matter what, but with my eye, I couldn't stand it. I wanted the top to look like glass, like Java espresso glass, and it wasn't coming out that way. So I abandoned that. Not completely. I used it as an like a base layer. And then I used my sanding block and 220 sandpaper and scuffed up the top a little bit, gave it a little bit of a distress all over, made it even the distress, and then I put it aside again and went on vacation. And when I came back from vacation, I knew what I was gonna do. Thank you, Debbie, and your DIY beautiful patina here, this barnwood patina, this old and gray. This was the perfect topper. This was the perfect match for what I was going for, because I needed to give it a finish where you weren't drawn to any of the imperfections. And this did the trick. It almost looks like a petrified wood top now. I actually, as I was doing it, I'm like, wow, I was like wiping back and putting the patina on and wiping back, and I was looking at it and I thought, oh wow, this looks like ghost wood. It just came to my mind because, as you will see, it's got this really rich, dark undertone, and then the top looks like a veil, like a real faint veil of this old and gray. And then I wiped it back so some of the wood came through, the wood grains came through from the bottom and left these like long wispy, looks like lacy, webby like structure, and I loved it. I thought, yeah, this is good. So happy ending. I finished it up that way. Then I put 4 coats of polyurethane by Varathane. I used my Dixie Belle sponge applicator and the Varathane product that is a water-based polyurethane. Crystal clear matte is what I use. I use it for all my tabletops, basically. I put 4 coats on. Then I took it outside and took some pictures and posted it on the marketplace, and then I brought it back in. This was like a huge production, bringing this table with the leaf and all 6 chairs in and out. I needed my entire family to help me. And then after the pictures were done, I brought it in and I decided that I was going to seal it even further, and I put a heavy duty coating of wax on it. Beeswax. That is Daddy Van's beeswax. This stuff is nummy. I will show it to you. Okay, here it is. Furniture polish. Daddy Van's furniture polish. Sweet orange oil. Can you see that? Sweet orange oil. Love your wood. Love this product. Oh, it smells like heaven meets earth and the prairies of I don't even know where, in my dreams somewhere. So that's what I coated it with. I slathered it all on and then went back with a clean rag. These are microfiber rags from the rag bag, and took it off. And now this thing is waterproof. It is ready to go. So Guys, thanks for sticking with me. This has been a little bit of a longer video, but I wanted to, you know, say hello, number one, and also finish off this table that has been a year plus in the making. So I didn't think it was going to be a short video, but I hope you learned something. And these products are awesome. This is a Debbie product, Debbie Beard. She's out in California. She came up with these formulas. This is the patina, but her paints are awesome. I use a lot of her paints. And to recap, I didn't really talk about what the paints were as I was showing you the videos and talking at the same time. I'm just gonna go through it real quick. Most of it was a base of Debbie's product, the DIY. I used White Swan on the base of pretty much everything, the double urns, all of the chairs, everything but the top of the table. And then I went in, after that dried for like 24, 48 hours, I went back in with milk paint. I used a roller, a microfiber, no, I'm sorry, cashmere roller, a small roller. And I watered down my milk paint. The color, I believe, was called Trophy. And I went back in with the Trophy color and I just kind of rolled it on, almost like a dry roll. I got the paint on there and then I made it, like I squished it off, and then I rolled over and I would go over and over and over and over and over, and it created this really cool look to me, like a Grecian antique urn or like bones, which would be kind of appropriate because I was calling the table a ghost wood. I don't know, weird. Then from there, that was basically it for the chairs, except for in the very ornate details, I went in with a different color milk paint. It was a custom mixed up color using blues and greens, just to kind of get in the highlighted areas. And then, and then I used the Trophy color on top and really, you know, made it textured and cool and old looking. Covered the whole thing with wax, DIY's wax, just clear wax. I didn't put any pigments or anything in it, and let that cure for quite a long time. Now the double urns, going back, the ornate detail, the applique at the top of the chairs, I went back in with my finger and I just kind of dipped into this metallic paint called Moonshine. I dipped my finger in and just kind of rubbed it on, and just to give it a little sparkle, because the double urn part of the table has this Moonshine metallic dripping down, dripping down, dripping down. A couple more colors in the urn itself. In the urns, they have Skeleton Key from Debbie's line, and I think that's it. White Swan, Skeleton Key, and then on top of that I did the milk paint, the Trophy color by Miss Mustard Seed milk paint, and then on top of that I did a patina. I did the dark and decrepit patina. That went on top of everything, and then I waxed it using the DIY wax. Whew, it's a lot to remember. It was a lengthy process, but it really turned out beautiful. And I think that's it, because I already went through the Varathane tabletop with you, with my previous self. My previous self told that story about that debacle. And that's really all she wrote, guys. Thanks for hanging in here with me. It's been a long video, like I said, but I'm so happy that you're with me. I'm so happy to be back. I have lots of projects coming up as we get like into the fall season. I bought a new sewing machine off of Facebook Marketplace. This 1960s Singer zigzag special. It has a really cool mid-century modern table that it came with. I can't wait to paint that and then get that working. I'm going to send it up to the Vac and Sew in Collingswood and get that working. And from there, I mean, I'm going to do lots of little projects. I've got projects for, I'm not getting into it with you now, but stick with me. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad you're back, and I will see you in the next video. And of course, it wouldn't be one of my videos without my buddy Gus, who just jumped up on my shoulder and wanted to say hello to the world. Oh, here comes your brother. Oh, his brother Murphy just came down the stairs with his mouse toy, so things are going to get real here.